Welcome to a brand new series of Match of the Day Top 10. Our regular experts, Alan Shearer and Micah Richards, are back. And after a fantastic World Cup, it's time to get back to the Premier League. This week, it's the greatest Premier League midfielders. And boy, what a list.
What a goal! What a player! Scores! A chance to again! And here's Fabregas, Shearer! Brilliant! From David Silva! Oh, Steven Shearer!
Micah, Alan, all the best with this one.
Can we just apologise now? What a list.
Apologise to nine of them. Nine of them won't win.
We're going to be trending, aren't we, after this? We're going to be trending, getting all sorts of abuse. So choose wisely, Alan.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. I mean, none of us were midfield players, obviously, but I think we all appreciate it.
Hold on. I started as a midfielder. Seriously.
Hence my point, none of us are midfield players. Because you gradually got moved back.
And back.
That's what happens, isn't it? But, God, there's some talent in here.
It's an impossible list. That's all we can say, isn't it? Because there's
how many of them?
Players.
How many? Well, actually, we'll do that question after we give the 10 out. Let me read the 10 because it is quite something. In no particular order. One of the great African players of all time, Yaya Toure. The heartbeat of the Invincibles, Francis Patrick Vieira. Liverpool legend, Steven Gerrard. A man that covers every blade of grass, N'Golo Kante. One of the great midfield goal scorers, Frank Lampard. Arguably the greatest Premier League passer, Paul Scholes. Manchester United skipper and general for many years, Roy Keane. El Mago, the extremely skillful David Silva. Arsenal and Chelsea legend, Cesc Fabregas. And finally, Manchester City's assist king, Kevin De Bruyne. What a list. I'll tell you what, they're all so good here.
And you don't have to look after mates in this, Mike, all right? You don't be frightened to offend some of your pals in that list.
I don't think anyone will be offended here, will they? They shouldn't be, because the company is so elite. So elite. Even if you finish 10th in that company.
You don't want to finish 10th, though, do you?
It's better than not being in the list.
True.
And there are some great midfield players that are not in the list. Right, Micah, give me your 10 to 6, please. 10
Kante.
Kante!
Kante is 10.
Yeah.
Number 9, Fabregas.
Won everything except the Champions League. 8.
Number 8, De Bruyne.
What?
He's still playing. He's still playing. He's still got plenty of time to be number 1. But right now, he's at number 8.
Okay, 7.
And I'm going to get battered for this, but Lampard.
Ooh, no.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's fine. I mean, look at the 3 players behind him already. De Bruyne, and Fabregas and Kante. So, as I said, I can't see how anyone would take offence in being in any position.
6, Yaya.
Yep.
Yep.
And Alan.
10, Cesc Fabregas. 9 is Yaya Toure.
Come on, you're better than that, Alan.
8 is Kante.
Fair enough.
7 is Vieira.
Oh, the dog's in! He doesn't agree either.
I thought he was coming in because of Kante, film it.
Oh my God! Oh. Your BBC's number 1 pundit.
Film it, kill him.
And you put Vieira number 7.
I thought you were going to laugh at the Roy Keane one.
Deary me. Honest to God. We've got top 10 pundits after this. You're number 10.
Number 6, Al.
Kevin De Bruyne.
De Bruyne. Oh, dear. We'll come to Vieira later. You need to calm down at fraction. Right, let's start with N'Golo Kante, who, well, he's obviously one of my heroes as one of the Leicester League winning team. Also did it at Chelsea. He's won a World Cup. He's won the Champions League. He's kind of done everything.
He's got everything, hasn't he? The list was so
And I suppose
great.
He is a defensive midfield player rather than an attacking midfield player.
I don't think I've seen anyone cover as much grass as him in terms of the work rate that he put in. I know he's getting on a bit now, and he's had a few injuries, but.
If you did a list of defensive midfield players, you'd have obviously Makelele been there as well. Who would you?
Top 3.
Let's save it, because
I
I think there's one there in the future.
Can we get another one
When we're
commissioned?
on Series 73 and we've run out of every possible topic, we can go to defensive midfield players. Cesc Fabregas, Alan, you got him at 10, and Micah at 9. Cesc is...
Real genius.
Oh, what a footballer.
If he would have... not his best years, but at Arsenal, when he used to play against him, he could get nowhere near him.
Yeah.
Technically brilliant, could see a pass, and he was strong as well. You know, he loved to tackle. He was inspirational. Didn't quite get the medals at Arsenal, but then he went to Chelsea and got the Premier Leagues, didn't he? I think he won 2 with Chelsea.
He won FA Cups with...
yeah, but Premier Leagues. Yeah. We're talking about the
2 Premier Leagues, 2 FA Cups, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On my notes.
He won. I think he won pretty much everything except the Champions League, because he kind of missed out with Barcelona, didn't he? I think he just missed in the seasons when they won everything. But he obviously won. He's won the Spanish League.
Elegant one. He's smooth and elegant. And lovely passer of the ball as well. Yeah, he's very, very good.
I think he wants to be a manager. You can see it, can't you? It's the intelligence that he's got. I was lucky enough to do a series with him about winning a World Cup, which was for a different podcast, and he's so intelligent and a lovely guy as well. We've worked with him. As a pundit.
I think 350 appearances in the Premier League, 111 assists. That's some going. That's unbelievable.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Sort of player,
lovely
striker
guy.
you'd want to play with.
Yeah. You know what? When you made the run, he'd find you with a pass.
Yeah.
So hugely important for a forward. That wonderful player.
It's crazy you have a midfield list and you've got Yaya Toure at 9.
Oh no!
Talk to me about. We've spoken many times about Toure over the years.
I think he's underrated. I think.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. If you think about players, he's number 6, Yaya, for me. So
It's high.
So yeah, it's high.
Yeah.
And everyone talks about his power and his pace, but his technique, the way he used to control games. Remember we went to your place, Newcastle. I think that was the game before the QPR, and we needed to win in a change room before you go in out. And it's tense, because you think Newcastle away is always a tough fixture to go up, no matter in what era.
Tougher nowadays.
Well, it's tougher now. You're doing all right now, but still not going to win.
Much tougher than it was when he played, yeah.
And he said, it wasn't arrogant, but it was confident. He said, give the ball to me today and I'll score. And he ends up being the hero.
Yaya Toure goes to return. He'll go for goal. Brilliant effort.
De Bruyne, 8 and 6. As you said, he's got more time. Cool.
If we were to do this in another 2 or 3 years' time, then I guess he'd probably be higher. I think as a forward, you can't not appreciate what he does. I mean,
imagine look at this. Look what Haaland's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can you imagine playing in the same team as him, De Bruyne?
I know.
The crosses, the passes. And we spoke about Fabregas and his assists and what have you, but I mean, De Bruyne's incredible as well, isn't he?
Well, that's it. Yeah.
If De Bruyne carries on the way he's going, he'll be in my top 3. If you do this again in 5 years, he'll be my top 3.
I'm not sure you'll still be around there.
I don't know if I
Never mind Kevin De Bruyne. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Cool. Give me your top 5. Alan, you can go first this time.
5, Roy Keane.
Yep.
4, David Silva. 3, Frank Lampard.
Yep.
2.
You're still thinking about it, you nearly
Scholes.
changed your mind. He's gone Gerrard, obviously.
Steven Gerrard won.
Wow, okay. That old debate, Lampard, Scholes and Gerrard. So you've had to put them in an order, finally. Micah, 5.
Silva.
Yep. 4.
Scholes.
I can see what's happening here. I can see it already.
What's happening?
I can see what's happening.
He's giving a list. Yeah, 3.
Vieira.
Yes. 2.
Keane.
He doesn't want to upset Roy. He doesn't want to upset Roy when he works with him next.
I thought he was going to get frightened of a stare.
Right, go on, 1.
Gerrard.
Ooh, blimey, you've agreed. Thank heavens for that, because I thought otherwise I'd have had to make the decision. Huge sigh of relief. Oh, blimey.
Can we not ask you then, who would you have as number 1? Just while we're here, it's like, just to give an opinion on number 1.
He likes sitting on the fence as our Gary, doesn't he?
He does. Why do you think I went into presenting and not punditry? Do you think I'm a fool? I don't know. I'll give it some thought and I'll let you know right at the end. I'm going to save it, okay?
Okay.
Because I'm going to change my mind 15 times. Okay, right. I'm gonna go one thing, right? I'm gonna say something now, right, Alan? Mm-hmm. You remember? I think it was pre-Micah when we did it with Righty. Mm. We did an all-time greatest Premier League player.
Yeah.
And you had Roy Keane as number 1, if I remember rightly, just ahead of Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
So now we've got all-time top midfield players.
Yeah.
Yet you've got Roy Keane at 5.
No, because I'd look at that
bemused.
if you add into the captaincy, that involves being a player and what have you. This is midfielders. This is not captaincy and what have you. So that's what my excuse.
Pardon?
You've been thinking about that.
We had
You've
top
just
10 captains as well.
You've just been thinking about that as well, haven't you? You thought, I'm going to get him on that. I'm going to wait for his answer. You've been.
Of course, that's my job. Yeah. So you've taken in captaincy into consideration when you're talking about all-time great players, but you don't take captaincy into consideration when you're talking about all-time top midfield players.
No, I mean, I was feeling slightly different on that day. It's different today.
Basically,
he's had a...
Yeah, someone on Twitter said something to him and he himself. Anyway. That's what's happened.
Do you think?
Yeah,
that's what's happened?
100%.
Do you think you yourself by putting Keane that high as 2?
No, I just... go with what I see.
You know, he was strong, he was tough, but he's probably not got the natural talent, perhaps, of 1 or 2 of the others in that list. Alan, is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't disagree with that. Yeah, I mean, the reason I've got Frank high on him is the goals, what Frank offered from midfield in terms of the goals, and I think 609 appearances, Frank Lampard, which I've also taken into consideration. Roy was 366 on here, so.
They won everything really in club football.
Unbelievable.
I said why they all have, well, most of them, haven't they?
I think as a leader, and a bit of an enforcer, as a guy who's going to get everyone together and an all-round midfielder, then I don't think you can argue with Roy.
He scored a lot of goals though, Roy. As well. His injuries, he sort of went into that position, but before he was box to box, wasn't he? Yeah. I just think when you got someone like Roy on the pitch, you feel secure, don't you? You're going to do your job.
All right. You can go back to Sky. You can go back. I said some lovely things about you, Roy.
When you've got Roy sat next to you in the studio, you feel really safe, and it's like...
I told you, Roy. I told you I'd say some lovely things about you.
Roy this, Roy that. Roy's my friend.
Make sure you listen to the best midfielders.
He's not listening to this, man.
Yes, he is.
He wouldn't subscribe to BBC Sounds.
You don't know that, though, do you? Maybe he is. Maybe he's a keen subscriber. David Silva, but another sumptuous footballer.
Like when he signed in 2010, I think it was, he was just...
You remember when he walked through the door? Did you know anything about him at that point?
No,
did you just think, what's
we
this?
played...
He did 10 years, didn't he? Was it 10 years he did at City?
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah.
But we played him in a friendly, Valencia. So they had Silva And Mata, a couple of years before, oh my God.
You spotted him then?
He was ridiculous. I think he begged me about 3 times. He was just, you could just see, he was playing a different...
That's not saying that much.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was quite good back then.
Yeah. Is that when you burst onto the scene?
No, we're leaving burst into the scene, 2022 now. We need a new one.
It's 23.
That's what I'm saying, we're leaving it.
Oh, right,
Do you know
okay.
what I mean? We need something new.
Disappeared from the scene?
So yeah, I seen him from a long time ago, but when it came through, it was, could he do that in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Because you know how physical it is.
I remember you said, the last person you think looking at me, you said he loves a beer.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Have you read my book yet that I'll give you? You read the stories in there.
Yeah, I was struggling for some logs and whatever. Christmas, I just started chugging on the fire.
I got halfway through the book and I think, I've heard every one of these stories. I've heard them all on the BBC Sounds, where I subscribe.
But yeah, I've told all the stories. Loved the beer. Great on a night out.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say. I don't want to put his personal life in, get anyone in trouble.
I think you have done by that, just intimating something.
But top bloke,
Yeah.
really was.
So, yeah, Silver doesn't win silver. He's just below second place, 4th and 5th. Right, there was a little bit of a what when he put Patrick Vieira at 7. You've got him at 3. You were an Arsenal fan growing up. That would have been the time you watched him, was it?
Vieira, come on.
Oh.
I put Keane just ahead of him because of the rivalry. But to
Because
put
you sit next to him. If,
What was the... tell us, what made him better than Toure?
better going backwards.
Yeah, I just think he controlled the game more no matter what situation it was. Do you know what I mean? So if he needed to be defensive, he'd be defensive. He needed to be attacking. Look at all the goals he scored. Do you remember? Can't remember. It was like that little death chip that he did when he run all the way from his own half. Good technically. He was a big unit, good in the air.
Yeah.
He had absolutely everything. So
You know, when you stood in the tunnel against when he was at the at the front, when Vieira, he was like, he had a presence about him, didn't he? He was like, he wasn't arrogant in any way, but he had this aura about him that if you want to mix it, I'll have a fight with you today. Yeah. Anyone.
Yeah, you could see that. I mean, it's not that. I think a few probably cowered away from Roy Keane over the years, but he didn't, did he?
No.
That rivalry between.
who do you think won the rivalry?
Not a lot in it, was there? I mean, they both won loads of titles, didn't they? Loads of them.
Who do you think's a better player out of Keane and Vieira? If you had to pick one.
Why are you putting me on that? What have I done to deserve that question?
You've seen him more than anyone.
I don't work with Roy Keane, so I'd probably go Roy Keane. So little to choose between them, isn't there? I don't know. They're very similar, aren't they, in a way?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's tough, that's why I put
And they
them.
could also both lose their heads occasionally.
Yeah.
Occasionally, even Vieira. I'd probably go Vieira.
Okay. Just.
I think.
Yeah.
World Cup.
Where have you got Frank Lampard, by the way?
He's got him at
7.
7.
7.
7's low, isn't it?
Yeah.
7 for Frank.
Oh.
Well,
You didn't see Lampard.
Well, have you
defend
ever
it?
gone manager go, I don't want you scoring any goals today?
I know, yeah, but you only got Makalele and Mikel and Essien. The time of his run was impeccable. I'm not taking anything away. It was top, but I just believe other players. I still think the rest, in terms of what they did for their team, or the responsibility was greater.
Right, let's get to the big 3. We'll discuss them. Frank Lampard, so you've got him low down. You've put him in there, obviously, for his goals tally, for the appearances you've just mentioned. Why are the other 2 better than him? Because there's always that debate between the 3, isn't it?
it's a really tough one. I get it. The only reason, I had Frank as 3 because of his longevity and appearances and the goals that went with that. Scholes, I think Scholes could do a bit of everything in the midfield.
Scholes! Oh, what an acrobatic goal from Paul Scholes!
Scholes started out, didn't he, as more of a forward. I've seen him play up top, seen him play number 10, and he kind of gradually...
I mean, his passing was out of this world, Scholes, he wasn't, and his technique. And he could also score goals without a doubt.
I was watching Pep Guardiola got interviewed, and he was asked the question about the three: Gerrard, Lampard, or Scholes.
What was his answer?
Scholes.
Was it?
He went, he hummed and hawed like we all do, and then he went, it's got to be Scholes.
Yeah,
He's more you can see him more of a Pep kind of player.
More of a technician.
Because he's a technician.
Yeah.
And so that didn't surprise me at all.
Didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
But
if someone had the other way around, I'm not going to argue against them.
Do you know what? I've been asked this question for, 20 years or whatever it is, and I think I've given all three different, at different times when I've
There's an excuse for that.
I keep changing.
There's an excuse
I
for
do
that,
change my mind. As a striker, Alan, which one would you sooner play with? Who'd be preferred if you could only have one in your team?
He don't want to upset his mates, does he?
No, I mean, I played against him, and then so.
Well, you played with and against all three, haven't you?
Yeah, with and against.
Yeah.
It's probably more so Scholesy with England, and his passing.
Well, I think
probably
as a
Scholes,
striker, though, Scholes, I thought that was a more obvious question.
Yeah, probably
because
Scholes,
Scholes was probably the most creative. Frank would probably take areas up in the box that you want to be in yourself occasionally because he was so brilliant at that. And Gerrard was... God.
How the hell didn't we win anything with that ability, those three,
I know.
with England?
Yeah, but it wasn't just those
That's part
three.
of the problem.
You had people like you up top.
Maybe. Maybe that was
even
part
after
of the
that,
problem. You couldn't fit them in.
That was
isn't it?
That was Sven's problem, wasn't it? But he would insist on playing a rigid 4-4-2, and he ended up either playing Scholes on the left or and it just didn't make any sense. Instead of going, wow, I've got this group of players, let me work out a system that enables me to bring out the best in all of them.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't veer from his 4-4-2. Rio, I remember saying to me, he said, I've played one game, and he came and he went, I don't want you ever moving with the ball into midfield. That's not what my teams do. And you just think... Yeah. But anyway.
The only thing with Scholes is, it's not a negative, he's always been in great teams, hasn't he? From when he started.
There's a reason great players end up in great teams.
No, but I'm not even going to say no disrespect to, say, a Darren Fletcher. Do you know, he's a very good player, but he was at a time when Man United was winning things. Do you know what I mean? Or were winning things. Same like O'Shea, very good player, but it's all about the timing, isn't it? Scholes was in a great team, and people always give this debate, Gerrard's never won a Premier League. But that's a pathetic argument. It's a ridiculous argument. If he would have been in Man United's team, he would have probably won 13.
You're absolutely right on that. It's like that thing about, they used to say, how can you... Messi can't be the greatest player of all time because he's not won a World Cup, which he obviously now has. Yes, he played for a good country, but that would automatically rule out someone like... I'm not saying the greatest player of all time, but someone like Gareth Bale, or going way back, someone like George Best, because you're born in a country where you've got a tiny... It's impossible.
It's a ridiculous argument.
Yeah, so it is kind of...
So that's the only reason why he's a little bit further up. If he would have done similar things at Liverpool, it would have been higher up, I think. Yeah. But he's always had a good team, but he's top talent.
Yeah.
He used to put some terrible tackles in, some nasty tackles as well, didn't he?
He was quite good. Well, I'm not sure
he wasn't a great tackler.
No, because
he wasn't a great tackler.
He was good at mistiming.
He put some naughty ones in.
Yeah.
So left his foot in there a lot of the time. But I suppose that's part of his. Yeah. And it was.
Well, Gerrard had that as well, didn't he? I mean, he's a better tackler, wasn't he, Gerrard?
Yeah, better tackler. Got around the pitch more, I guess. But Scholes was, in terms of the goals that he scored, important goals, without doubt, playing in a better team for a lot of the time.
Do you think Steven Gerrard should have moved? They obviously had the thing where he was going to go to Chelsea, and then he kind of changed his mind at the last minute.
No, not really. I don't know. It's like the same debate with Harry Kane now.
Yeah.
He's at a club that he loved. It's what his club is, and
I guess also you mentioned Kane on that. This goes back to that debate about the fact that he's not won anything. Does that count against him?
No, it doesn't. I
mean, Gerrard did win things. He won the Champions League and he won FA Cups. And
if Kane goes and be the Premier League all-time goal scorer, I mean, that's an accolade in itself, isn't it? I mean,
is it?
What's he on now, Kane? How many has he got to catch you? I know you've been counting by the
62.
So he's going to beat that, isn't he? Realistically, he's going to beat that.
Well, if he stays in this country, if he goes in the summer and signs for Bayern Munich, which Alan is now his agent, that depends.
No, I won't hold it against him.
Okay, you've both got number one. Steven Gerrard. Tell me about playing with him.
Yeah, he came in when I was towards the end of my
he's
England
quite young
career,
then, wasn't he?
and then he came in as a youngster. Already, you could see he had something about him. Just the way he walked and sort of held himself straight away, you could tell.
Really?
That he was going to be something special, and he was. In a way, I know that's slightly different from me looking at it because I didn't win anything with Newcastle. But the argument going back to Gerrard, I admire him in a way for doing what he did at Liverpool and having a chance to leave, but staying at his club and creating his legacy at his club in the way that he did. I admire him for that.
He's the best. He's the best. I say he's the best because of the fact that the players and the teams he's been in, and he always got so close to winning the league. Yeah. Took him to the Champions League.
That's the moment when, of all people, when he's
Premier League would have just been. I don't think it would have been a debate.
If you look at Istanbul when that extraordinary game against Milan when they were 3-0 down at half time, I mean, it was him pretty much, wasn't it, that dragged them back into that game.
Yeah, it was.
With sheer determination.
Yeah, quality. And he played with some top midfielders. You know, Alonso was a top midfielder as well.
Yeah. There's one that could definitely have made the list.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I just think for all round, if you look at defensive attributes, attacking, passing, mentality, he's got.
Yeah, I think if you're looking to build a perfect package as a midfielder, you wouldn't go too far from Gerrard, would you? Yeah. And everything that he's got: energy, personality, tackling, goals.
Everything.
Longevity. Yeah.
Well, I said I'd give mine at the end. And you've convinced me. Okay. I'm going to go with you. Steven Gerrard, and an unbelievable list. That is our top 10 midfield players. Feel free to disagree. You will, of course, especially on this one. Using the hashtag MOTD Top 10. We'll see you next time.